All right, stream number 2. Looks like everything's good and running. Make sure I got my chat set up on mobile. Brighten up. Entertainment. All right. I got my chat on my phone this time. Maybe I'll be able to be a little bit more responsive. We shall see. Anyway, hey everybody. This is Workbench Makes again. You can call me Liam. I am going to try and finish this workbench. I tried to do it last time, but I talked way too much. So I'm going to do a little bit more, hopefully actually cutting wood this time than actually chatting. But I've already... Well, I've still got pretty much what I finished up with last time. Is this main kind of a rectangular frame that I've already built, and I got these support pieces cut out of 2x4 that I'm going to be using as additional like supports across the width. And I've got some 4x4s over here that I'm going to try and cut to length. Now, the thing is, all I have to try and cut them down is this Skill circular saw right here. So, I'm going to try a little trick that my stepdad mentioned to me, because I was trying to figure out how to do it the most efficiently, and I'm going to try and do it, but cutting those down to 32 inches, probably 32 inches. I said 30 last time, but I also don't mind it if it's a little taller, because I actually have a tall chair that I'm going to be able to sit at whenever I'm working on stuff, so it won't be too big of a deal. Yeah, 32 should be fine. So anyway, let's see what we got here. I guess I need to start off with, I'm going to go ahead and, get one of these 4x4s. So, sorry about that. So here we are, one of these beautiful 4x4s. It's not beautiful. It's actually salvage material. I mentioned this last stream a bit, but this workbench is going to be kind of a temporary solution. I say kind of because there's no telling how long that kind of is actually going to be. But it'll be kind of a temporary solution so that I can get the funds together to get like better quality materials and whatnot and redo it and kind of maybe find a better design. But I'm also very limited on space and things like that. And I'm not the best woodworker. So, in fact, actually, I'm not a woodworker at all. I'm just doing woodwork, if that makes any kind of sense. But I need a workspace, so I'm making a workspace. About as simple as it gets. So a lot of the wood, a lot of the materials I'm going to be using today are salvage materials. I actually found, man, it'd be nice if I could find my Sharpie again. I had actually found a pile. Somebody had obviously been doing deck work. They were swapping out their deck and all that kind of stuff, and I had found a bunch of decent looking like yellow wood branded wood that had been pulled from the previous deck. Some of the wood was obviously no good. It had been rotted away, which is strange because yellow wood's supposed to be like treated and all that, so it's not supposed to happen. I guess that's why some of it was fine and some of it wasn't, but some of it had definitely rotted away. So I'm using some of the better pieces I had found from the pile to try and make this new one. Double check. Okay, cool. Anyway, so my plan today is to try and get this 4x4 or these 4x4s cut down. I also had to mentally make a slight adjustment on how I was going to place the 4x4s, because originally 2 of my support beams were going to be up against the side wall. I'm not going to be able to do that if I want these directly in the corners and for it to like function the way I want it to. So these are actually going to go straight into the corners, and then the first support is going to go on the other side. So it would be like sidewall, legs, support beam, and then more space, support beam, so on. Anyway, so I need a Sharpie. I screwed up. Okay. So give me just a second. I might have something in my car all the way back here. I can only hope, I can only dream, and I can only hope that you guys can still hear me. Aha! I found a Sharpie. It's not the same one I used. This one's blue instead of black, but that'll be perfectly fine. Still works too. Heck yeah. I always worry when I leave stuff like that in a hot car. It's going to end up drying out. Thankfully, this one has not. Alright. So, I was going to have text-to-speech set up for today, but I spent, oh my gosh, how much time did I spend last night on that? I tried to get text-to-speech set up for a good, 4 hours last night, fighting, because I tried to use Microsoft Azure, and the Microsoft Azure setup is all kinds of weird. Best I can tell, once I set everything up with my Azure account and everything, was that, oh, that's not where I want it. I'm actually, real quick, change the subject, sorry, back on this. I think I'm going to do it at 34 inches. Like I said, it being a little taller is actually fine by me. So I'm going to cut it at 35 so I can cut this side and get it cleaned up. And then I'm going to flip it and cut the extra inch off so it'll be at 34. Half an inch. Well, excuse you. Anyway, that way I'll have a little bit cleaned up from both ends, so it'll hopefully sit a little better too. So we're actually going to cut it at 35. So there's 35 inches. Because we use freedom units around here. Caw-caw! Alright. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I was going to get the text-to-speech set up. I probably spent a good 4 hours last night working on it. But Azure, once you make your account and everything and you subscribe, technically it's a free account and all that, but if you go over X amount, then they'll charge you X number of characters. I think it's 500,000 per month. Once you go over that amount, it'll start charging you. Well, despite being the owner of the account, it does not give you direct capability without applying the role to yourself to manage your speech options for whatever reason. So I could not get SpeakerBot to acknowledge any of the voices that are supposed to be available in Azure. And I was just like, you know what? I'm done playing with this. So I did like Andy from Toy Story 2. I don't want to play with you anymore. And what am I doing? Sorry. Kind of frazzled. Woke up late. Trying to get in a hurry. It's not good. Anyway, so yeah, not a cool thing. So I decided to swap over. Excuse me. And in not even 30 minutes, actually probably not even 15 minutes, was able to get most of the Google Cloud voices set up. I just don't have them linked into my streamer bot to link into OBS yet. But soon that will be a thing, and then that way I don't have to worry so much about looking at my phone or my screen to be able to communicate with chatters. Because at least until, as long as chat's not super saturated, having TTS won't be such a big deal. But if it starts getting crazy, which I don't expect anytime soon, but if it does start getting crazy and having a lot of people trying to talk at once, I might set it up where you have to redeem points or something for the TTS function. But we are not there yet, not even remotely, and I'm okay with that. But just trying to think ahead on the just in case type situations. So I'm going to mute myself. Oh, actually, I need to probably make sure this is right. Currently, this is set at 1 1/4, so we're going to... I gotta undo that. Ooh, something just happened. Chloe GPT. Hey, thanks for the follow, Chloe. Much appreciated. as I mentioned before, I am not much of a woodworker, so this is more of me trying to fumble my way through it. I hope you enjoy the experience of watching me fumble. That's kind of part of it, isn't it? Oh no, that is right. That is exactly where I wanted it. My bad. So, this is as low as it's going to go. Hypothetically, well, not hypothetically, this is what we're going to do, is I'm going to cut it straight across as is, and then I'm just going to rotate it 90 degrees, cut it again, until hopefully we have a straight, clean cut, or mostly straight, clean cut. Again, these are going to be the support beams and whatnot. Oh, PPE is important. Let me get my safety glasses out of my car, which is right behind me. One split second. So yeah, once I get this workbench built, most of my stuff's actually probably going to be indoors, which will be great because then you guys won't be blinded by the sunlight. It'll be a smaller area. I'll be working on a lot of other different projects. Oop, I see chat stuff going on. First time. What's going on? I just arrived here. Be safe. Oh yeah, thank you. I guess I need to reintroduce myself. My name is Workbench Makes, or you can just call me Liam. Either way. This is my second stream that I've done. I am working on building a workbench because where I live, I do not have a lot of actual workspace, but I do have a spare bedroom that I'm converting into an office / kind of workshop area. So I'm trying to build a workbench, something just functional. It doesn't have to be pretty or anything like that, but this is going to go in there because I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff with 3D printing. I work at a haunted house, so I'm going to be working on trying to do like prop making. Prop making. I'll be working on eventually animatronics. Now some of that's going to be indoor and outdoor because like air compressor, which is off screen, but I'm pointing at it right now. Because a lot of the animatronics that the haunted house I work at uses are actually pneumatic powered, so I'll have to be able to test things, and so I have my air compressor that's going to be strong enough to actually apply the pressure necessary. But yeah, so today I am building a workbench. I tried to work on it some last Friday, this most recent Friday, and I spent more time actually chatting than actually getting work done. So all I was able to get done, I had already built this outside frame very simply. This outside rectangular frame, I'd already built it, and I had to get these 2x4s cut down. That are going to be like additional studs, I guess you could say, for support along the thing. Now, here's the thing. I'm not a woodworker. I'm not actually a professional at much of anything that I do, but I've got to learn how to do it. So I'm kind of using Twitch as a rubber duck, as they say, to try and learn the function, learn how to do these activities so that I can be better. And I guess I'm just kind of bringing everybody along for the ride as I get this experience. So I appreciate you showing up and chatting with me a little bit and introducing yourself. Thank you for being here. But yeah, so I've got to learn how to do this stuff anyway. So what better way to do it than having somebody else, or potentially having other people that I can bounce ideas off of. But again, it's just nice also to have people to talk to while I'm working on it. I'm kind of, not only am I using Twitch as a rubber duck, but I'm also using it as like, what do they call it, body doubling? Because it kind of actually helps me focus on what I'm working on by talking it out loud and having somebody there. 3D printing animatronics, I hear things I like. I'll join but won't disturb you much so you can work too. Thank you, I appreciate that. No, greatly. I'm glad you like the sounds of all that. Yeah, I'll get more into the 3D printing stuff later, but I have filament and resin printing that I plan on doing. I also play a lot of D&D, so some of my resin printing is more for miniatures for like me and my friends for when we're doing tabletop, stuff like that. So I hope you can tell I play D&D by the words on my chest. Anyway, but yeah, so let me get this cut down. I'm going to mute myself so that my saw doesn't, blow your eardrums out. But yeah, give me just a moment. And Okay, so I think it's back. Oh, I knew I forgot my earbuds. Oops, okay. I usually use them for monitors so I can hear, kind of hear myself and make sure that my microphone's actually, whether it's working or not, and I can actually better hear. That's great. Better hear the notifications that come over, but it's not perfect. But man, is that close for a first attempt on that? That's actually, I'm pretty proud of that. Heck yeah. So I did have the right idea. Just rotate it 90 degrees, keep sawing. Sweet. And it's good enough for my needs, at least. Shoot, it's not like my frame's totally flat either, so maybe it'll help compensate in some ways. So I'm actually cutting these 4x4s down to 34 inches. My original plan was to do 30, so I have upper back issues, two bulging discs and stuff like that I'm going to physical therapy for. And I'm trying not to make my back any worse, but I also have kind of like a tall, comfortable, like kind of like an office chair, but it's taller. I don't really know a better way to describe it. I'm having a kind of a brain fart on that. But anyway, but I have like a taller chair so I can actually sit down while I'm working. But it being such a tall chair, I can actually compensate and have the table a little bit taller than my original plan, so that when I'm sitting down, I don't feel like I'm having to bend over so much while I'm sitting at that to make all that work. But yeah, so I just cut this 4x4 down to 35 inches, and now I'm going to, actually I need to go this other way, and now I'm going to mark this the other direction so I can trim up this side, get it cleaned up. There's my marker, and there's my speed square. This way, I'll have it cleaned up on both ends. Oop, let's see another chat. What we got? Yes, first cut is done. Oh, there's another. If you want to know what's going on in chat, while not, maybe you can use TTS. Oh yeah, so I mentioned that just before you joined. I'm working on getting that set up. I probably spent 4 hours trying to get Microsoft Azure set up, but after I gave up on Azure, I tried Google, and Google TTS is so much easier to set up. Like, so my problems with Azure, all right, is when I was getting it set up, I apparently, for some reason, even though you are the owner of your Azure account, for some reason it doesn't automatically give you permissions to do any of like the modifications with the speech stuff and whatnot. And when I tried to set it up with SpeakerBot, it kept acknowledging that there were no other voices for me to apply. So I couldn't get it to work, so I tried to give myself the permission, and it wouldn't actually apply the permission to myself. So I gave up on Azure, and then instead of taking 4 hours, it felt like, to get Azure running, it took 15 minutes to get most of the Google stuff set up. Go figure. And I have it almost completely set up. It's not done yet. Probably tonight or tomorrow while I'm at work, I'll be able to whip out my laptop and work on that a little bit more. But yeah, I plan on having it set up so that at least until, let's assume, right, because the goal is always for a Twitch stream to kind of take off, at least until, you know, chat becomes super saturated, having TTS will make it a lot easier for me to communicate, because that's actually something I mentioned to one of my friends as well. But that way I can keep up without having to look at the monitor, and like I said, you know, I usually have my earbuds in so I can actually hear everything, so I'd be able to, you know, more organically communicate. Now, once, let's say it does start taking off, I can set it up to do, you know, point redemptions or something like that if somebody wants to TTS to me. And I'll just make sure to have like it stickied in chat or whatever, like, hey, spend X amount of points as, you know, whatever, to TTS. But yeah, I have already thought of that. That is actually something I'm working on, but I do appreciate you bringing it up anyway. Let's see. By the way, I work at Microsoft and in Cognitive Services, so TTS is kind of a sister system. Oh. Well, I mean, sorry. Like I said, I tried to use Azure. That was actually the first one I tried for, because I liked the fact that it had all the, you know, security stuff kind of integrated already with my Microsoft account, and was using the security of my laptop already and all that stuff. Like, I thought that was really neat when I was trying to sign into it. It's like, okay, cool. I actually feel a little bit more secure about this. But once I got in there, it would not let me actually apply the voice functions to anything or to myself. I don't know what was going on. But yeah, no, that's good to know. I'll send something easy and free. Huh. Okay. Cool. Yeah, if you don't mind, that'd be great. I don't know if you can send it to me in like a whisper or what, but I'll definitely make sure to check on that. Thank you. I'm going to mute myself again real quick so I can cut this inch off. 1 second. All right. Ta-da. One down. Oh, it for some reason put it in asterisks. I don't know why. That's weird. I don't know if you want to do like individual letters and resend it or whatever, but that was really strange. Sorry. Oh. Oh, I don't know if I forgot to mention it. I think I did. But a lot of the wood that I'm using is actually salvaged material as well. Like, I'm not going to spend money if I don't have to. And the wood on the side of the road, I mean, it wasn't great, but it served my purpose, if that makes sense. And, yeah, somebody was obviously replacing their deck and was setting all this stuff by the road. Instead of this stuff going to a landfill and just rotting away, it's decent enough for my needs. At least as a temporary solution. And eventually I'll work on probably trying to find like a better solution. What I'd really like is either my landlord will let me get some kind of like covering, some kind of like garage type situation put out here. And then I would actually build a whole new, nicer like workbench, you know, like all the professional ones have and whatever else. That would be the dream, but I don't see that happening. And again, like I mentioned before, my space is fairly limited, so I'm making do with what I have for the space that I have. So yeah, exactly. Thank you. Yeah, it does the job. And that's what really matters for me. It's not, you know, the best quality, but I noticed a lot of it, you know, when I was pulling it, was like Yellowwood brand, which around here is usually considered pretty decent. So why do I keep doing this? I know how to read a measuring tape, but for some reason. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Speed square. And my Sharpie, wherever it may have gone. Oh, it's in my other pocket. 35. And like I said, I'm cutting it down to 35 inches first so I can clean up one side, and then I'm flipping it over and then cutting the other inch off to go down to 34. That way each side is cleaned up. Yeah, this is only my second stream, so I'm still trying to get a lot of my nitty-gritty features set up. Eventually I'll have like actual like point redemption options made and all that kind of stuff. Like, one of my buddies, actually one of my best friends, his stream, Gustav Humst, he's got it set up so that man, I put the wrong thing down there. I keep getting caught up in talking, I forget what I'm doing. But anyway, he's got things like, hydrate options at 300 points and things like that. Which hydration's good, actually. It's hot out here. Let me do that real fast. Not sponsored, just delicious. Tropical Punch body armor. It's what plants crave. Oh. Welcome to Costco. I love you. I haven't seen that movie in forever. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Idiocracy. Such a strange movie. It's actually the reason Crocs exist. Let me mute myself again. Hydration Nation. Hey, Caperdoodle, it's nice to see you again. That's why Crocs survived. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's why Crocs survived. Let's see. I was gonna say to Chloe GPT. You mentioned before that you like the 3D printing and stuff like that. Well, since you work at Microsoft, you said, you may also be interested in the fact that I will eventually also be doing like server maintenance and things like that. I have so many, pans in the fire. It's not even funny. That's actually why I started. That's the biggest reason I started this stream, was because I needed some way to keep myself accountable. That's actually Caperdoodle there. He also keeps me accountable. He's a good friend of mine. But I needed some way to kind of keep me accountable and keep me interested in working on my projects and whatnot. And I have so many projects I work on. It's not even funny. So with the 3D printing, files, STL files are pretty massive, especially when you have a ton of them or have subscriptions like I do, things like that. And I want to be able to keep my stuff locally. So my plan is to build a home server for the purpose of storing a lot of my STL files. And eventually, I was also wanting to try and learn some game design, game making stuff. I'm looking at trying to use, what do they call it, Godot, because I wanted to learn how to do C++. So it's kind of funny how everything connected. I want to learn how to do C++, but I always do better if I'm learning how to do something for a purpose. So I was going to use Godot to learn how to do C++. And then I'm always on the go. So like the laptop that I'm streaming from right now, I always have my laptop with me, and then I have a desktop inside that I'd be doing everything from when I'm like in the office. So I wanted a way like to have my files saved where no matter where I went, both my laptop and my desktop had access. So I was going to build a home server that I could tunnel into and access those files. And then I was just going to use my mobile data from my cell phone, because I have a huge data limit anyway, so that when I'm on the go, my laptop can link into it. No big deal. Then again, like I said, the 3D printing files. So then I started trying to build a home server, which I've got it mostly built, but I plan on using Proxmox for my main operating system, and then having virtual machines set up with like Open Media Vault or something like that for my actual like file maintenance, or like file maintaining, and then having other functions like a built-in like Pi-hole type thing as well, so that I can help keep ads off my home network, things like that. So those are some other projects that will probably end up on the stream eventually, just as I get to them. I'm hoping that doing these, like streaming all this, will help keep me moving through my list of projects that I've got going on. Ooh, let me know if you need any help. Oh yeah, I will definitely need help. That's why Croc survived. Accountability buddy. Yes. Caperdoodle, you are indeed my accountability buddy. Alright. I'm going to do this one more again on this one. I'm muting myself. Alright. That is leg 2 done. Heck yeah. Like I mentioned before, I'm going to have the legs in the far corners. I don't know if y'all are both in here for that. The legs will be in the far corners, and then my first support beam kind of pinching it between the corners. So that'll be good. And then my other 2 4x4s. Yeah, this one's not... Do I have my... Yeah, okay, good. I do have it working. Yeah, I'm probably not going to be using this one. See, it's got all these nails all ran through it. I could just pull them. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to just pull them, because the other one, I don't like the way the other one looks. It's got a whole corner kind of chamfered off. So let me get my hammer. Hammer! Oh, that pulled out super easy. Okay, cool. I'm not worried about it then. Ooh. That was almost bad. Alright, physics. There we go. Yeah, physics is doing physics things. I got it balancing on a side now. There we go. Come on. These are some old nails. Man, come on. Oh, and that one just broke off. Well, that's not good. I guess the better question is, do I even need that much of the section, though? Why am I doing it this way? I could just... Yeah, because that makes a lot more sense. I'm just going to cut off the end that has the rest of the nails stuck in it. That just makes more sense. We're just going to do that. I should have thought about that beforehand. Oh. Action's moving too fast from my brain today. Heck yeah. That's 36 inches cut right there. There is one nail. I'm going to get it pulled, and then I'm going to speed square to straighten out that line. And then give me a second. I'll check chat. Come on. Did I mention I'm not a professional? I hope I did. I'm fairly certain I did. I'm not a professional. I want to make sure that is abundantly clear if it's not already obvious. Ugh. Thing is, I think I just need to slow down a little bit. I think I'm just moving too fast and actually not thinking things through properly. And that's how mistakes are made. Hammer there. Go figure, it falls right off. There we go. Yep, and like I said, moving too fast. I gotta cut that side off. Oh yeah, let me check chat. I need to make a pie hole, then we can look at each other's pie holes. Definitely hard to do this without a workbench. I like the plan. Yes, exactly. Like, I've got the sawhorses, but they're only so good if you know how to use them. But yeah, so build the workbench, then everything else kind of gets, well, literally built on top of it. I've seen worse. I've also done worse. So I'll take it. I'm also having a problem. For some reason, the guard on there isn't wanting to, like, shift back like it's supposed to. Like, it was getting caught on something every time. Oh yeah, Caperdoodle is full of puns and other similar jokes. He's a very good friend of mine. We chat all the time. And he is always like that. Let's see here. After I cut this one down, I am going to drink me some more drink. Because I don't know if y'all know this. I don't know if it's obvious. But it's hot. And I'm sweating. This ain't fun. Like, the weather's not fun. This is fun. I like this. that's another reason I'm kind of making so many little dumb mistakes. I'm getting overheated, not thinking things through. Brain's a little fried, but it'll be alright. As long as I keep an eye on my time, because I do have a doctor's appointment at 2 o'clock. Okay, I got an hour. Still got an hour left. We're good. I got to get this at least finished cut down so that I can try to start running screws through. Hold on. Sit, Ubu. Stay. Yeah, that guard catching out and everything is really getting on my nerves, but on that last go, I kind of came down at an angle and then pushed into it, and it seemed to work a little better that time. I guess that's what I get for spending $50 on one instead of paying 80 to 120, you know. You get what you pay for. Cool. My third leg, is done. Excuse me. Excuse my poor crass joke. Cut this end down to 35. Which, ironically, is just perfect because this 4x4 already has like about a 2x4 amount missing, actually. And then there was a saw cut that somebody already made right here. And that 35, actually, just barely, will clean up all that off this end. I love it when things just work out. It's funny how a little more moolah would have been better. Yeah, I know it. But I hadn't gotten paid yet, and I wanted to get this started. And since I just got the new car and just traded in phones, well, just traded in to get my new car and just traded in my phone, trying to cut costs on things around here. Since I just did all that, I've got all, of course, ironically, all the extra fees I'm having to pay because of all that. So I didn't have the money, but I wanted to get it started. So here we are. But the blade's good. It's a good blade. It's been working very well so far. It cleans very well. And I actually got two different blades. I got the 24 tooth for working on this kind of wood, the 2x4s, the 4x4s, and then I've got another one, I think it's like a 48 tooth for if I work on like OSB or something like that. So I mean, I've got the things I need. It's just, like you said, it's funny how a little bit more money would have probably made things a little bit easier on me. So, it be what it be. Muting myself again. I meant to ask, is everything coming over good on y'all's end? Sound good? Picture all right? Like I said, second stream, just trying to make sure everything looks good. Looks and sounds good. Hopefully also the music's still playing, because I did have white bat audio stuff set up. I'm still muted, aren't I? Yeah, that figures. No, I'm not muted. Okay, cool. So I did have it right. I have an audio visualizer, but I can't see it because the light's so bright on the screen, it's hard to actually see anything. That's why I can't wait to get all this inside so I can actually see my screens better. No music playing? Oh, that's weird. That's really weird. Also kind of upsetting because I really like that music. Oh, my bad. Okay. Let me know if the music is too loud or not loud enough. See, I don't have my earbuds in like I should have, and that's how I was doing the audio monitoring. Right here? Good. Okay, I'll leave it where it's at then. Sweet. Oh man, that kind of makes me feel bad. Because I know when I'm not talking, it's kind of silent out here. Other than the vehicle sounds behind me. I was hoping to actually use the music as a way to kind of drown some of that background sound out. So I'm sorry I didn't have it running. I'll have to make sure to add that to my pre-stream checks. Mea culpa. Yeah, I ended up waking up late, because, like Caberdoodle, working the night shift that I do. I didn't get to sleep until about 3 o'clock this morning. And then I ended up waking up at 9:45 and I felt pretty good. And I was laying there like, all right, in about 10 minutes I'm going to get up, or 15 minutes I'm going to get up. Next thing I know, I'm waking up and it's 10:44. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Because I wanted to get up and have everything set up and running and all that by 11. Instead, I didn't get started until 11:30. So, my mistake. Setting an alarm next time. Gonna have to. Especially if I'm going to keep doing these midday streams like this. I enjoy doing this, though. Just wish that big bright orb in the sky wasn't so bright. Might be getting a little bit of color out of this, but hey, that's good. I don't get enough sunlight anyway. Again, night shifter. Creature of the night. Dracula's my buddy. Hydration is importante. Little to no background noise. That's actually really good to know, because I get some really loud trucks on this road, because like I live on a fairly busy, not a major highway, but a busy highway, and all I hear is road noise sometimes when I'm out here. It drowns out anything coming out of the laptop all the time. So I figured if the laptop is getting drowned out, I wouldn't be surprised if the microphone was drowning out too, but I'm glad to hear it's not doing it. Oh. All right. Oh, messages. I'll cook my dinner. We'll return in a bit. Oh, yeah, no problem, Chloe. You do your thing. Appreciate you stopping by. If you decide to join back, I will probably be getting off stream. It is 12:26 Central Time. It'll probably be about 1:15 Central Time, so in about 45 minutes. So if you're not back by then, that's okay. I totally understand. But thank you for stopping by. Thank you for chatting with me, and I look forward to those messages you were talking about. You said there was something you were going to send me in Whisper, so I'll take a look at that here in a little while. Oh, well, thank you, Chloe. And yeah, I woke up kind of late too. I'm having lunch, watching you and working on your background. Oh, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. Talking about the background for like to frame the video so that I can have the chat on screen and all that kind of stuff like we talked about. I appreciate you doing that, buddy. Gonna have to get you back for sure. Oh, that's just the shield mod thing. It keeps tricking me into thinking there's another chat. Oh, all right. Muting myself once more. Of course, it's the first one and the last one that are the best ones that end up being cut. They're almost completely flat and they feel great to the touch. The other two have a little, have a slight step in them, but it'll be all right. I guess really not that big of a deal. Like I said before, you know, temporary solution. It's not going to make it rock too much. Not to mention, I plan on probably eventually putting something on the feet anyway, so it's not really going to make much of a difference. I'm gonna check something. Okay, height's still close. This one, this foot specifically, is actually slightly warped. Eee, that's not good. This is what I get for using salvage lumber. Alright, that's there. That's there. Caperdoodle does not stream yet. Am I muted still? Here we go, yeah. So Caperdoodle does not stream yet. I know he is talking about starting a stream here soon, though he mentioned probably doing more YouTube than Twitch. But he does all kinds of art projects. He's actually been working on some stuff for me, actually. He's actually been working on my logo and some of the background pictures and whatnot. Since I'm leaning into more of the haunted house side of things, I will be kind of theming out a little bit more. I'm going to say horror, but nothing like gory necessarily on my pictures and whatnot. But there may be some, like if I'm working on certain props, I might end up working with fake blood and things like that. So just a heads up on that end. We'll see when we get there. But yeah, so, but he works on all kinds of art projects and whatnot. See, I used to a lot. I had a geeky news show with friends. Oh yeah, there is that, true. Which, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea for you to bring that back, man. Why not, right? There's all kinds of stuff. And it's not like you don't have the personality for it. You certainly do. All right. I need to get some screws and some drill bits. Ugh. Now, working with the tools I got available to me, I have this Black & Decker brand drill that I have had since, I don't know, probably 2015, 2016, that I got from a Walmart Black Friday special. So you just know this thing's packed full of quality if it was for only $75 with all the stuff that came with it. Yeah, no, this thing's junk, but it works, and that's what matters. Man, this heat's starting to get to me. I'll get under the shade for a moment. The only shade I really have available to me right now is this umbrella I have over the table my laptop's sitting on, so I'm keeping my laptop kind of cooler too, so the sunlight's not hitting it directly. Because I think after the last stream on Friday, my screen was actually starting to get slightly sunburnt because there was like yellowing starting on the far left side. So I'm just trying to make sure nothing gets too messed up. And like I said, hopefully I'll be inside soon. Oh, I can't put legs on this thing yet anyway, because it's not going to make it through my hallway if I put the legs on it now. So I'll have to wait on putting the legs on until it's inside, but I can at least do the rest of it. Okay, that's fine. That actually works, because I can at least get the 2x4s stabilized and in their location with the 4x4s sitting there. And then when I take it inside, I can finish it out. That'll be fine. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. Too bad I can't do a Kronk voice. Ladies and germs, it's hot out here. Yeah, I kind of died from some bad blood, yeah. Okay, so here's what we're actually going to do. I figured it out. Because I think this is going to be better for me with getting this all straightened out. Is I'm going to go ahead and hopefully I can. I'm going to attempt to put the top on my table. I almost said bed, so used to the machines I run on at work. We're gonna do this first. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna wipe it down real good. Now I'm using just water in the spray, but it's not like I'm gonna sit here and like drench the thing. Probably need to go this way so I don't end up hitting my laptop. But I'm just doing this enough so I can wipe the dirt off, but not enough that it'll end up like soaking into the wood too much and end up causing it to swell or anything like that. I just need to get all this dirt off of here before I try to assemble. I'm gonna have these boards. It's 2 of these. So I need to probably back up and explain kind of what's going on. So my table is gonna be, I think it's 28 inches wide by 5 feet long, 60 inches long. And the idea, because both of these boards together are gonna be about 22 and a half. So there's gonna be about 3.5, 4 inches on the back side that's going to be open, and the idea is so that I can run cables through on the back, or so that I can have my marker board set up, things like that. Excuse me. Interesting, that was loud. Anyway, but I'm going to have this thing set up on the back side, or have this thing set up so that there's a slot on the back side, so I can do cable feeding through and all that kind of stuff. Because some of the projects I work on, or like if I have monitors set up sitting off of this thing or whatever, I have a way to run all the wiring. Yes. Thank you. So I want to get these cleaned up to be the top. And the thing is, like, it doesn't really matter what these are going to look like, because these are going to have a thick, like super dense foam layer on top of them. And then essentially like a exercise mat on top of that. That way, or sorry, the first one's not foam, it's like a rubber. But it's gonna be like a thick rubber layer, and then like an exercise like EVA foam mat that's gonna be on top of that, so that I'm less likely to damage whatever I put on the table. There are chats. Oh, same chats. Never mind. My bad. Yes, I will have TTS set up soon so I don't confuse myself. Yeah, these boards are mostly going to be covered up anyway, so it doesn't really matter what these look like too much. I just need to make sure that they're clean more than anything else. I was going to go through the effort of like sanding them down and all that kind of stuff, but they're honestly cleaning up really well. It doesn't really matter. That, and I cannot find my sander currently, so it be what it be. I'm just going to deal with what I got. Oh, I don't know. I say that, and I just remembered part of the reason I wanted to sand this thing is because of this spot right here I'm spraying down. It's a little rougher than the rest of the board, and I can't quite tell if it's like paint or, quite frankly, if it's some kind of, I really don't know what it would be. Ooh, but it is peeling up a little bit as I wipe on it right here, so maybe I will have to work on sanding that. Okay. One board. So how's Chad doing today? I forgot to ask about that. Everybody having a good day so far? Trying to get into a better headspace right now, honestly. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, buddy. Anything I can do to help? Or is working on the projects helping? Or can I offer you anything? You have been such a big help to me, and one of my biggest supporters. So, of course, I'm certainly here for you, buddy, for sure. Oh. Doing these help, yeah, okay. Well, that's good to hear. I guess doing something like your art projects in general, any kind of the art projects, something you enjoy, I can see that. This is helping me actually too, I get that. Man, if this wood was visible, it would look gorgeous with some kind of like oil or stain on it. I really like the color on this, the way it comes out with so much red. Oh. Let us find out what kind of wood it actually is. I get this top layer of gook and whatever off, and then put some kind of mineral oil or something like that on it. This thing would be pretty. Instead, it's all about function. And it's going to be totally not visible. So, oh well. But maybe if I were to do this again, if I can find out what kind of wood this is. A lot of this wood's actually, I mentioned that a lot of it was from, parts of like decks and whatnot that I'd found on the side of the road. But not all of it is. In fact, actually, specifically, these two boards that I've just cleaned off and the 2x4s that I used for the inside, those all actually came from another workbench. My girlfriend actually won from like an auction thing for a whole like $2. A lot of the wood was rotted or had like 25 nails or whatever, or not nails, but like staples in it to try and hold it together, and it was an absolute disaster look, and some of it was starting to rot, like I said. So I kind of took the whole thing apart, salvaged what bit of wood I could, and pretty much all that was really salvageable was these two boards here and those 2x4s. And I salvaged those 2x4s in part because they were actually still decent, but because if you actually look at the rings, I mentioned this on the last stream, a lot of wood today is made from like fast grown pine and stuff like that, like a lot of the construction lumber is, and so there's not near as many rings in it, which means it's not near as actually strong. So I looked on these, and these had a ton of rings on them, very visible, so I'm using them as my support brackets for sure, to make sure that it's a good, solid, strong support. Not that I expect that I'm going to be throwing too much on this thing anyway, or at least not anything too crazy heavy. I mean, there's going to be all kinds of stuff on the table, but it's more of I guess a matter of principle more than anything. But if I've got it, why not use it, right? Cherry wood would be pretty. Yeah, a cherry wood top. Oh my gosh. I would not want to waste cherry wood on a project like this though. I'd want that stuff to be super visible. Yeah, I'd feel bad if I used cherry wood on something like this. I'd feel terrible. Be having to ask myself, like, what am I doing with my life at that point? All right. There's both of these. Make sure the gap looks right. Oh, that's not flat at all. Oof. I think the boards are actually a little warped, but I'm not too upset by that, to be honest, because once I get the boards actually screwed into the support bars, hopefully that'll actually help even them back out. So it's actually not terrible. I've seen worse. Yeah, for sure I've seen worse. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and... Oh yeah, that's actually going to line up a lot better. I just had to push it on the one side. Okay. Yeah, so I guess what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put the top on first. And then when I flip it over, all the support brackets, I can press them up against the top of the table. Ooh, I can't do that. Ooh, I can't do that. I'm going to have to at least stabilize the two center supports first, because the two outside boards of the box shape actually kind of have a bit of a bow to them, and so I need the two center supports to actually help hold it in place. That way the table's actually where it needs to go, or like the tops are actually where they're going to need to go. Then I can screw them in, and then I can screw them into the supports. Oof, okay. Fine, I guess I'll do it that way. It's not what I wanted to do, but whatever. Okay, what time is it? Make sure I'm not running out of time. 12:48. So eventually I think you should just do long form content, IMO. Well, maybe. I might just post these on YouTube at some point. Today is not that day, but I do have it also recording as well, so I could just post them to YouTube. And eventually I might do long form in some way, shape, form, or fashion, but today's not that day. I don't really have the time, effort, or energy to put into doing all the video editing that goes into a lot of the long form content creation. I wish I did, but I just don't. So people get to see the behind the scenes and all the screw ups and all the thought processes as I try to figure out what I'm going to do until then. And then, man, I'm so warm. Not as bad as I was last week. Wearing black pants and a gray shirt, like one of my gray work shirts, like I was not smart. This darker gray t-shirt I'm wearing today wasn't smart either, but it was one of the lighter shirts. Go figure, when I wear mostly black. It was either this or a Hellfire Club shirt that was like one of those mid-arm, almost long sleeve style. Spend more time rolling up the sleeves than actually doing any work. Okay. All right, 30 minutes. I gotta get this done. Put these here, just barely out of the camera view. I need my measuring tape. I've got my marker. This way I can kind of line up. Let's see if I can't move these so a little bit more visible about what I'm doing down here. Brand new bottle. Already got a leak. Love that. Probably because it's hot though. Anyway, so what I want to do is I want to make sure these two support beams in the center here are mostly centered. So where are we at? 23 and 25. I don't want it there. How long are we internally? I don't remember. 58 inches, yeah, so 5, 6, 4, 5, 6. So that's 12 minus 58. So that's 46. 23 to 23. It's a halfway, so 13 inches from there. If I did my mental math right, that's there. So 13 inches from the side of this 2x4 here. That look. I'm gonna move it there and just see what it looks like. Sorry, I can't show you guys. 13 to 15. That looks all right. And then we'll put this one up here to get the spacing kind of close. And do the exact same thing. From this 2x4 offset by the 4x4. Ha ha ha. There should be, okay. So I need to move over this bar. (13 to 15 inches). There we go. Yeah, so this should be, stood up too fast. We're okay. We're okay. Ooh, that's not fun. Vertigo is not a game, okay? If you have issues with vertigo, go get yours checked. Apparently mine's due to a sodium deficiency, according to my doctor. But part of the reason why I'm drinking the electrolytes. I was dealing with a migraine yesterday, probably from dehydration. But I drank a lot of water yesterday to make up for it because I knew I was going to be doing this today. What we got going on? So this, eventually I think you should do long form content. Yes, use streams for accountability / body doubling. That's exactly what I'm using the streams for. I would appreciate the editing help. Yeah, for sure. If you want to VC sometime today, we could. I mean, I got work at 4 o'clock, and I'll be off stream in about 15 minutes. But I would certainly not have a problem with talking with you later on this evening, for sure. I need a Stanley. I'll donate you one in person. I've actually got like some cups and stuff like that at home, or like here at the house. I just hardly ever use them. I need to start using them more, to be honest. Work actually supplies one to us because we have to have like certain kinds of toppers due to OSHA regulations and whatnot. Yeah, if you want to make some notes, that's totally fine. I am actually not salty enough. That's the problem. And I would love for you to be able to come up here and help with a project or something, man. If you end up having the free time, you are more than welcome to come up here and help me with something. Oh. Ooh. I'm okay. Dang. Dizzy again. Yeah, I think, as bad as I hate to say it, I think I'm actually going to have to call it quits to this because I'm going to have to do a lot of kneeling down and whatnot, and I'm getting way too dizzy every time I get back up. But I'm going to go ahead and do some cleanup real fast. I'll shift this over. Actually, let me get these screws. Ugh. Way too dizzy from being way too hot. according to my grandmother, it's supposed to be raining tomorrow. So I may not get to stream tomorrow. But if I do get to, then the first thing I'm doing is throwing this frame. I'm going to try and put it on top, like kind of catty-cornered on the sawhorses, so that I can then try and get everything lined up to run my support beams like I was about to. But I'm getting way too dizzy for this, and I've got an appointment, and I need to eat. So I'm going to get this cleaned up. Yep. Bright and sunny weather is nice, not 90 plus degree weather. And it was sad because it was actually really nice when I first got out here. I thought it was going to be a lot easier than Friday, but so I guess that's what I get for thinking. Put away my hammers. For everybody who's been here for the stream today, I want to take a moment and say a genuine thank you. I really do appreciate everybody who's been here, everybody who's chatted with me, everybody who's helping keep me accountable. Because it's going to be a long process, but these are things I needed to do. So I appreciate you guys making sure I get them done, or get them at least partially done. Now maybe if I'd actually gotten out here and started about 30 to 45 minutes earlier, before the sun got way on high, I would have been able to finish this up and then at least be ready to go inside with it. But whether I get to work on it on stream or not, I'm gonna have to finish at least to get the parts inside, and then I might start next stream indoors instead. And then I'll actually be in a lot more comfortable conditions, and I won't be dealing with dizzy spells and whatever else. So well, sorry you only just got back and I'm having to cut it short. Yeah, I'm doing like a little bit of last minute cleanup right now, but I do appreciate it. Oh, that I already know that window's gonna end up blaring in your eyes. But yeah, it's gotten a little too hot for this. I'm not made for this weather. I am built like a bear, hence the name. Gets a little too spicy hot out here for me. So I work indoors in HVAC conditions, not out here in this. For all the people who actually work construction professionally, I salute you. This stuff is for the birds. But anyway, as I said before though, welcome to Where Bear Makes. Thank you for being here, and I really do appreciate everybody being here for the chat today. And I'm probably going to try and stream again on Friday if the weather permits, or I'll be inside if I get this done beforehand. So appreciate you guys for being here, and feel free to drop me a follow if you'd like, if you haven't already. If you want to send me a whisper, we can chat about stuff privately, whatever else. Caperdoodle, I know you know me. I know we talk privately anyway, because we know each other personally, so that's different. But anyway, appreciate you guys. Y'all have a fantastic rest of y'all's day. Where Bear out as soon as I find the button. And stop the stream.